This is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course, we are out here hooking you up with the best of the best interviews. And today we have another special guest. So please, guest, just introduce yourself.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Brenda Nakope. I am a YouTuber. I am a law student. I am also a single mom of a daughter who's turning 6 years old. So I'm very excited about that. Towards the end of this year, it will be one of the biggest celebrations. And more than that, I am a big mental health advocate.
Yeah, so we'll just go straight into it. Law student, of course, founder of Falme Media and mental health advocate. And I just want to know what came first.
For me, it was mental health. Even before I got into law school, I'd always had this heart out for giving out and for helping people. I just didn't understand at that time that what I was doing was actually mental health advocacy. I just thought I was reaching out to people and helping people. But I think over time I came to realize that I just have a heart that wants to give out and wants to kind of share with other people what they are going through, what their problems are, and things like that.
So, is it, when we talk about you being a mental health advocate, is it something that you studied or you are just self-taught? Like you researched in your own ways, you got information, then you got the skills, or do you have a certification for that?
I feel like life is the best teacher for this. With mental health advocacy, I believe some get certifications like psychology and all those. I work with those people. So when I founded Falme Media, our main aim was to be able to help people who are going through mental health issues or bring to light mental health issues that people don't know. So to the question that if I have certification, no, but I work with people who have been certified as psychologists, people who've been certified as therapists, or doctors, clinical doctors who are working with these patients day to day, or even just the people who are actually going through these things, because life is the best teacher.
Why do you think in our society people are not very vocal about mental health?
Oh, I love this question. I really do. So our society, the African culture, does not really understand the concept of being weak as a person. And we've seen that all of the time. Like when you do a simple mistakes, there are some parents who go to the extent of beating up their children just to quote unquote instill discipline. And it has been, embedded in our minds that we are supposed to be a certain way, we are supposed to achieve something to be a certain way. And when people are not able to achieve that, we create a kind of personality that is inachievable. So when people don't attain such personalities or even don't attain such things in life, they become what people call unsuccessful, or what people call stubborn or difficult to deal with, and all those things. While these are simple things that people can just, relate to. People like who have bipolar disorder, these are people who've been traumatized when they were young. So they end up building a persona that protects them, or people who have gone through different kind of things when they are young, and they build up personas to kind of protect them. The society does not understand that, because it is the society that brings out this kind of let me call them ideologies of perfectionism, or ideologies of what a person is supposed to be. So for me, I believe that it's very, very vital for us as people to be able to realize what it really means to have, to have a good ideology and to accept a person as they are, and not try to bring your own ideology. So I feel like as a community, as a society, we are yet to understand what it means to be different, or what it means not to be like everybody else, which is quite saddening if you ask me.
For this generation, do you think maybe social media has really made the mental health issues to skyrocket?
To some extent, yes. I feel like some time back we were talking with a therapist and I was asking her, do you feel like I should log off my Instagram accounts, my YouTube, everything, like just go off radar? And she told me that is the best way to heal if you want to move on. Because one of the ways that I feel young people are enticed more into, not dealing with their problem is seeing other people who are quote unquote telling them how they dealt with theirs, and they're not really addressing their problems. Like they can feel people. There are some people I've seen in the US who conduct shootouts. These are people who've seen, the gangs and the what, and they're influenced by those, and they say, wow, this is a way of dealing with this problem that I have. And they go out and do nasty things, they go out and do drastic things. So for me, I kind of see social media as both good and bad, because social media also has a lot of good, let me call them good, how can I call them? Let me find a word. Good resources, yes, good resources that can allow for students to be able to grow. I call them students because they are learning. Everybody is in their journey of learning. So it allows for students to be able to listen, to understand, and to grow into what they intend to be. If it is healing that they're looking for, then they can learn to heal over time, also using social media as a resource. But also, social media can be drastic where it perverts the thinking, the mindset of a person to do nasty and really, really drastic things to the society, which can cause irreversible harm.
You've talked about being a student, being a media owner, and I just want to know how you are able to juggle all these things. You have also talked about, you have just touched on motherhood. Now, all these things are very demanding. How are you able to juggle and make sure that you have done what should be done in every department?
Okay, so to be honest, I don't work alone. I mean, if I were to be working alone, I would fall apart, like literally fall apart. But I work with an amazing crew. I have some employees within my ranks who are going out there and finding stories that we can be able to put in our social media accounts. Also, as a student, I think I have a very tight schedule. I have a calendar that is very detailed, like to the T. I think I have from waking time to the time that I go back to bed, it is all full. And I always try and find ways to just make myself free and make myself available, especially for the people who need me. But as a student, I think I take my studies now. Okay, in all honesty, my studies were affected in my last year. I think I had the biggest blow last year, and I had to kind of sit back and really put myself in a routine that actually helps me as a person. So it took me a while to realize that I need to be able to find a kind of a method that will work with me as a person, but it also took me a while to kind of understand where I am as a person and why, and all the things that I need to do to be able to work towards that goal. So for me right now, I stand knowing that I'm not able to do all that. And I work with a team that allows me to be able to kind of do my school at some time. And then they can be able to take over the company and we are able to work together.
I want you to also just touch on Falme Media, like how did it come about and how did you even think of starting it?
Okay, so Family Media came about when I think I was at my lowest, and I wanted to see like a number of companies that wanted to put out, in Kenya especially, content about mental health and mental health issues. I was a single mother. And for a while, I just felt defeated. I felt broken. I was not sure where I was going to go in life. And at some point, I tried committing suicide. And I felt like I needed somebody who could talk to me, somebody who could, tell me that this is something they've gone through and they can share with me their story. So that's how Falme Media came about. I wanted to have a host of people who can be able to share their stories and just, tell the person who's behind the camera, the person who's listening to you, that it's okay. We've been through this before, and this is how we made it. This is how you can do it too. So that was basically the brainchild of Farmer Media.
Yes. So when you just from when you started it, and maybe I just want you to look at maybe 10 years from now, what do you want Falme Media to achieve? Where do you see it?
So what I really want, I feel like there's some projects that we've laid out as Falme Media, first of all, and there are projects that are aimed at actually creating a kind of awareness on mental health and mental health issues. What I intend for Falme Media in the next 5 years is that we'll be able to reach a number of students, a number of youth who are ready and they're willing to take the steps with us to be able to better their mental health, their mindset, and their everyday lives, really. So for the next 5 years, I just want to see young people being able to grow and using our platform as a channel to be able to allow them to grow mentally, psychologically, and even heal, because a person who's healed is somebody who can do wonders in this world. So I really believe in that.
If maybe someone has mental health issues, for you as a mental health advocate, like which steps do you take maybe to help them? What are the solutions you can give to someone? Maybe I call you, I have a certain issue. How do you help me go about it?
Okay, so I've had this with my friends a number of times, and I've come to realize that most people who actually need help, you might not be in a position to help them. So when I'm in a position to help them, what I do is I literally just talk to them, I listen to them. Sometimes people just need to be listened to, and their problems are solved. But for those problems that I personally cannot handle, I will either refer you to somebody who can be able or has the expertise to handle your problem, or I will refer you maybe if it's something that unfortunately sometimes there are problems that your parents need to know and you're afraid to tell them. I usually open up and I'm just like, do you want me to call your mom for you? Do you want me to call your dad for you? Like, I feel it's easier when you're able to, find a solid ground to work on. So that's where I start. If it's something that I can solve, I will. If it's something that needs to involve parents, I will. If it's something that needs to, for I feel like issues of suicide, I feel like that's something that your parent need to be informed about early enough, so that in case it does happen again, or in case there's an recurrence, we are able to, like, capture and say, oh, that has happened before. So it could be, this is the reason, these are the triggers, this is what happens that leads to this. So I feel like I literally just find a solid ground to walk on so that I can be able to take them step by step. And if I'm not able to find a solid ground, I'll take them or refer them to somebody who can be able to help them in such a manner.
When you look at your life, what you have been able to do, we have talked about a couple of things, and I just want you to talk about things that you view as achievements in your life, like you are very proud of yourself to maybe have taken a certain risk, maybe to meet a certain person, maybe start a business. Let's talk about things in your life that you view as achievements.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, there's one, for me, it was a dream. And then it became my reality. My reality was law school. I didn't imagine that I would ever become a lawyer. It didn't come to me. I thought that was a dream that I couldn't achieve. But here I am in my fourth year of law school. So it's quite a big dream. And the fact that it's actually happening and the fact that I can actually feel my graduation coming along, it's a good feeling for me. Other than that, just the mere fact that I'm able to have conversations with people. I've had a lot of ladies who are single mothers who have come back to me and told me, I heard your story and this has been going on, and I just wanted to be able to kind of solve my problem and I didn't find a way out. And this story helped me to be able to find a footing and find a ground. So I felt like that in itself is an achievement. The fact that there are people who are growing and there are people who are learning from me, I think it just fills my heart. Other than that, the media company in itself, I can call myself a CEO. You know, that's top tier of all the achievements that I called. But yeah, that's just in a nutshell what I'm most proud of this year.
I also want you to touch on the lessons that you have learned through your career life. Just talk about the lessons.
Okay. So one of the things that I think I have learned over time is literally found in the Bible, Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. That has just simplified so many things for me in terms of waiting on, God to make something happen, or waiting on God to allow other people to heal, or waiting on God to just make something, a small thing, to be able to, pass through me. And I felt like that was exactly what I needed, just knowing that at the right time it will happen. And I feel like that's a good message for each and everyone. That's something that each and everyone can pursue, just knowing that at the right time God will make it happen. So that is a very, very big thing for me.
As we finish, just talk to guys who are starting out, maybe in career, they're starting up a business. Like, how should they go about it? Just give them an advice.
Okay, so starting out is never easy. Don't expect to start at 100. There's literally no starting at 100. The time that I started Family Media, we realized we had no content to shoot out, and people don't want to share. Like, people are not willing to just give you anything that you want. But if you are able to actually go down and relate with these people on a person to person level, then you as a person are able to come up with a good story that you can be able to share and just give out and be able to impact other people. So if you can be able to go down and bootstrap, literally start from the ground up and learn on your way to whichever success you're aiming at, if you can be able to literally crawl your way to the top, I think that's something that will really serve you in the long term. Second, for anyone starting a media company, please be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your co-workers, be patient with anybody that you're working with, and always remember that at the end of the day, it is the person who is behind the screen that matters, because they are the ones that will get impacted from what you put out. It's like the same thing you're doing with 27th Street. I feel like everybody who gains from this gets to be able to feel good and feel blessed by what you put out. So at the end of the day, it is the person who's listening that matters, not you.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me a time, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day too.